My family farm has been here since the 1950s. My grandfather relocated from Colchester. He moved the orchard here, seedlings, saplings, that kind of thing, as well as a few bigger trees. And my family has been on this property in East Haddam ever since then. We were doing the apple trees for a while. We preserved our orchards, but where the farm really got its first baby steps, so to speak, was with Christmas trees. My father, Chris, planted about an acre of Christmas trees in 1985, and we slowly but steadily expanded from there. It is all family owned and run, so I do have the pleasure of working with my family, but I also wanted to do a little bit of my own thing. Through different processes, different experiments, we were able to tack down what exactly we wanted to do. I wanted to try a New England style hard cider, and that was our first flagship cider in 2016 that we opened with. And then we had the opportunity a little shortly thereafter to expand the farm, to purchase an additional 20 acres on the north side of our property. And that was a really good thing that came our way, because we were able to purchase this barn that we're in today and that we're able to use as our tap room. We opened that in 2019, and it's our new home. It fits really well. It is a old, not a colonial barn, but it is an old New England barn. It goes back to the 1920s. We were not only able to further our family farm and expand in different ways, but we were able to preserve this farm. This was originally the Protz family here, who my grandmother was good friends with, Mrs. Protz. And so we're able to keep their legacy alive as well as our own.
We actually grow tart cherries on the farm. We've got about 7 trees producing pretty large quantity at this point, probably around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds a year. Back in 2013, we were approached by Two Roads Brewery out of Stratford. They were working on a specialty Belgian ale, I believe it was. They wanted to try brewing a ale using some tart cherries. The folks from Two Roads came up for a day. They harvested about 1,000 pounds of cherries that day, and they took them back to the brewery to work on to make that ale. During discussions with the head brewmaster that day, he asked me the question about, have I ever thought about making wine? And I said, well, we don't grow grapes here, we're growing all the other fruit. He said, no, fruit wine. And I says, I never thought about it, I didn't know anything about it. And after he had left that day, we started looking into it, and we said, geez, this looks like it could be a viable type of product for us in East Haddam here with our location.
There are some differences from when the farm first got its start, but it has, in a sense, come almost full circle. And that's been particularly interesting and particularly fun for me. I'm getting back to what my grandfather used to do. We expanded from the Christmas trees into doing a greenhouse, a small nursery, as well as having our produce stand, a farm market, and doing mums and pumpkins, that sort of thing in the fall. But coming back from college and having all of those experiences, bringing a little bit of that in, we said, let's change it up, let's do some different stuff. And that's how the winery was born. But we didn't plant grapes. We were still able to use that old orchard stock that my grandfather had originally brought here. And so with the purchase of our Petticoat property, we had an additional 4 acres that I was able to start from scratch with. And so using my father's expertise, I was able to put in a brand new orchard that not only has varieties that my grandfather used to have, but new varieties as well. So when I say new, I mean new cultivars like your Honeycrisp, that kind of thing, but also traditional cider apples that really aren't found in many places. You can get them sometimes in upstate New York or Vermont, but not as many in Connecticut here. And so in a lot of ways, I'm kind of following in my grandfather's footsteps, planting a whole new orchard just like he did almost 70 years ago.